Hello and welcome to episode 32 of Establish the Collection. I am Cody Main, joined as always by my co-host, Gary Hartman. Gary, how's it going today, buddy?
Cody, it's good, man. It's good. It's, cold out here in New York City. We're reaching real cold times. The Knicks, I went to my first Knicks game in a while yesterday. While I'm on the subway there, LaMelo gets ruled out. Then they get crushed. So I could be better, but, these are small problems. All in all, things are pretty good.
It's a short 2-game slate with your Knicks on it, so we'll take a break from NBA here real quick. And if you're following along on YouTube, you've already noticed we brought out the big guns for today's show. A DFS OG, another Millie Maker winner. He got his win before Gary, so kudos to him. He's the identifier of best buys on ESPN. I think we can officially call him a box breaker. It's your favorite Twitch streamer, Al Smizzle. Al, thanks for taking the time to join the show. Welcome to Establish the Collection.
I appreciate you having me. I mean, if you listen to the TikTok replies, I don't deserve to be a box breaker. So because I didn't know that, because I got thrown off by the fact that on the back of that Mac Jones card that I pulled, it said GM. I was like, okay, is this, I'm thinking it's stained glass, right? So I flip it over and it says GM on the back. I thought it should be SG. I'm like, wait, what is this? People on immediately everybody rushes to tell me it's stained glass. Don't you even know you shouldn't even be breaking cards? You don't deserve to break cards. Like, realize it says mosaic glass, right? It's not, it says glass mosaic, not stained glass. So like, you're even wrong too there, buddy.
Yeah, you get some like stone cold hardcore defenders of traditional hobby, especially as this thing has blown up over the last couple of years. So I'm not surprised to hear some of those comments. But no, man, I love that you've gotten involved in the card space and in the cardboard space. So we're very happy to have you on.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. You want to hear a Gary story, Cody?
Yeah, let's do it.
So I'm streaming, like doing my recap stream one Monday, like a couple of years ago. And, it's a guy who subs to the channel and we're just doing the recap. He's like, all right, that was the recap. That's all, that's what happened this week. I was wrong about some things. Somebody comes in. Hey guys, I won the Millie yesterday. Excuse me. What?
That sounds just like Gary. So casual about it.
Yeah,
so casual about it.
Stopped in. Hey guys, how's it going? Happy Monday. I won the Millionaire Maker yesterday. I was like, wait a minute, back up.
Yeah, I was before that happened. I was always just like a DFS lurker, like listening to my favorite people, Al included in that. And I wanted to then, present myself to the community after this happened. And I didn't really know the best way to do it. So there you go, very nonchalantly. Yet here we are. I have this relationship with Establish the Run. Get to, have one of my, DFS, what I would like to consider a companion now, hopefully, on a show about collectibles. So, how crazy the world has become since that has happened. But yeah, that was funny, man. And that clip that you pulled after all that really made me laugh for sure.
Well, you mentioned DFS. I think DFS has brought all of us together. Obviously, it's the reason why most of us are here, and we've branched out into other things. I think most of our listeners would recognize Al probably from Grinders Live and the DFS Edge podcast with Levitan and CSU Ram, but he's branched out, man. Al is an absolute content machine now. He mentioned TikTok. He's all over Twitch, all over YouTube. Why don't you just catch us up, Al, on the last couple of years? Because the Edge podcast seems like it was a decade ago at this point, and you're all over the place now. Where is your focus in content creation? What are you up to the last couple of years, and where's your focus right now?
So football season, obviously, I'm cranking out a ton of daily fantasy content. Best Buys on ESPN. I'm on the Fantasy Focus Pod every Thursday on the CSS DFS podcast with Mike Clay and Daniel Dopp, Secret Squirrel. So I'm like 7 days a week during NFL season. I produce content for 6 days a week, new content 7 days a week. I take Saturdays off, but I still publish a video that we record on Friday. Don't tell anybody. It's not working on Saturday. So like that takes up a ton of time. But then once like the playoffs gets here, Best Buys takes like, an hour to write because it's a very truncated slate. And I got like 3 videos instead of 7 or 9 that I got to put out during the week. So I got a lot of free time between week 18 kickoff and week 1. So I play a lot of best ball. I open a lot of cards because it's something that I've always loved to do. I've gotten really involved in the NFT space. And I was kind of saying, well, maybe I'm talking about this stuff on stream because my audience wanted to hear about it. I was like, well, let me just throw this stuff on YouTube. I'll make a second YouTube channel to put this stuff on called Al Smizzle Games. I like playing video games. I play Tarkov. It's like my main game for the past few years. Escape from Tarkov, sorry. And I just started throwing the content on there and it started to stick and people started to really like it. And I said, well, TikTok's a thing now that we're in this pandemic. So I started making silly TikToks with my kids and whatever. And then I said, oh, let me take one of these card openings and I'll put one of the big cards that I pulled. And I got like 100,000 views after me getting like 500 views on all the silly videos, right? I was like, all right, let me put some more on there. And honestly, TikTok's the greatest growth app if you're a content creator. Now we're getting into like content creation stuff, but like, I just kind of do whatever makes me laugh and whatever I find entertaining. And hopefully my audience finds that entertaining too. So far, so good.
Yeah, I can speak from experience on just you breaking cards, man. Like it to someone that isn't involved in card breaking or collecting cards at all or NFTs or anything, it doesn't make sense. Why are you watching another man open cards that you have no financial investment in? I wasn't breaking with you, but I would find myself pulling you up on my phone in the office and just setting you there, and then I would be entranced for 2 hours while you're breaking boxes. I'm like, Jesus, I just wasted 2 hours of my time, but it's captivating.
Did you waste them?
Yeah, exactly. It's the entertainment aspect, and I'm sitting here and I'm like, holy crap, I could watch this all day. So I do, and I have been. What brought you into the card breaking and opening these up? Obviously, you're doing a lot of this for content creation. Or was this born? Is this a byproduct of the pandemic, where you just had more time because sports were down? Have you been collecting for a while? Have you been investing in cards for a while, or is this just kind of born out of something that's creating interesting content?
So like I've been collecting cards since I was a kid. Like, 1982, 1983 was the first box of baseball cards that I ever got, like around that age. And I collected all the way through the end of high school, all the way into college. A friend of mine that I played softball with after college owned a baseball card shop in Brentwood. I used to open cards at the Westwood card shop here in Los Angeles, where they put your picture on the wall. And I'd save up my money to get packs of 86 Fleer basketball. And I have like every rookie from that set. And I pulled a Jordan rookie. They take a Polaroid if you took a big picture and put that on my wall. Matt from the Beverly Hills baseball card shop used to be in my fantasy league. I just grew up loving to collect things, whether it was baseballs or autographs or baseball cards or anything. I just collected everything. So then growing into content creation, when I started streaming on Twitch, a lot of what I played was FIFA and FIFA Ultimate Team. And so therefore, when I started doing content, I started gravitating towards and became friends with a lot of the FIFA Ultimate Team content creators, Castro and Nick 28T and Nepenthes and that whole gang. And so they kind of helped me come along as a content creator by hanging out in their Discord for a while. And I'm like, everybody they're like, yeah, our biggest videos are our pack opening videos. So like when I started thinking about this last offseason, I was like, well, why am I not just opening cards? If people love unboxing videos and people love football and basketball cards, and clearly everybody will even watch digital video cards get opened, right?
Yep.
Digital soccer cards, and they'll sit there and you get excited when the person that you're watching gets excited. So it's about the entertainment. It's about what you can bring to it. Can you make this mundane thing of just tearing open pieces of paper and flipping through 12 to 15 cards? Can you make that entertaining? And to me, it's like, I'll say stupid things. I don't care. I'll make the opening of packs entertaining. I'll tell little stories about players. I slow roll all the cards, which some people really like and some people can't stand. But either way, they're watching, so it doesn't matter. As long as you make the viewers feel something, whether it's love or hate, they're going to interact.
Yeah, it's such a good point. I think we could, me and Cody especially, as we try to grow socials for this show, we could definitely take a page from the marketing playbook of Smiz over here. TikTok particularly, because I've seen, just like you, I've seen, especially in the card space and breakers and things like that, people just have blown up from TikTok and something about that algorithm that if it knows if you like card rips or something like that.
It's perfect. You cut it down to like under 60 seconds, which is enough to go through one pack, right? Yep. And to get to one hit, even with a slow roll. And I'm trying to post them on every other platform too, YouTube Shorts and Instagram Reels and Facebook Reels and everything else. None of them take like they take on TikTok, because TikTok's algorithm is so generated and so honed in at finding you new people that like TikTok's algorithm is like, it thinks about it, sees your video and goes, hey, these other 10,000 people might also like this video. So it throws it in front of them. And if a portion of them watch it for a certain amount of time or click like or react to it or whatever or reply to it, it's like, hey, let's find 10,000 more people. No other app. YouTube before TikTok was the best app in terms of growth. Right now, TikTok, and it's not even close.
Yeah, I would agree. Absolutely.
We've got our homework now, Gary. Like, we need to really make TikTok a priority at this point. I think we posted one video a while ago, and both of us are very busy. I've got a full-time job.
Mm-hmm.
Gary's obviously very, very much in the weeds with NBA, but man, we need to really make that a priority to try and grow this thing out and really cut things down as we're deep in the weeds trying to figure out which cards. We're really applying the DFS and the fantasy background, trying to figure out which cards may pop, which markets are bound for some positive upward movement. We just need to rip some packs, man. Just rip some packs, hit some sweet cards, and the engagement will be there.
Yeah,
you can do that around growth cards as well. You say, hey, look, here's what card do you think is going to take off most in the next 6 months? Well, I think it's this card. Blah, blah, blah. Here's a couple of reasons. What do you think? I think it's this card. Here's a couple of reasons. And that's your 60-second video. Put some trending sound behind it and tag it a couple times, and maybe it takes off.
Yep. And the stupid thumbnail faces, that Cody has on.
You don't have to worry about the stupid thumbnail faces.
Not on TikTok.
No.
Yeah, but no, it's true. Like even the stuff that we've had that has had traction has been even just when I'm flashing like one of my high end cards or whatever. Oops, sorry, 1 second. I might plug that. We'll have Luke edit that out. But yeah, and you made such a good point about like FIFA Ultimate Team. I wonder if it's one of the reasons why this generation was so ready for cards to make a comeback too, because we've all been doing like this Madden, FIFA.
Yeah.
I play the show Dynasty Mode or whatever it's called, Diamond Dynasty all the time. Yeah, I love Diamond Dynasty. So we've been doing these types of pack rips now for even when cards weren't necessarily the thing that they've become again over the last couple of years. So I never really put that connection together, but it makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, it's easy content. It's fun. It's engaging. I enjoy doing it. Like, obviously, whatever you see of me on video is always just me. We were talking for like 10 minutes before the video. I guarantee your viewers that I'm the same guy on camera that I am off camera. The volume's just turned up a little bit, but like, I'm still the same guy. I make all the same stupid jokes. I do all the same stuff. So like, my reactions to things are somewhat genuine. Like, if I'm pulling a card, if I'm, oh, look, I got one the other day, right? It was a 1 of 11 card, came out of a pack, and I peel the bottom of Jacksonville Jaguars, 1 of 11 incoming. Come on, be a rookie. And like, my reaction, it wasn't even my card. It was a box break. It was a viewer break. And I'm like, It's not Trevor Lawrence. No. It's like, I was really upset. It's like, why is this not Trevor Lawrence? You should have been, and you're not. And now I'm mad.
I think one of the most memorable parts of me watching your streams from last year was when you were ripping NFL and you were cutting up the Dwayne Haskins cards. the generic, the authentic reactions to you ripping through these things really resonates.
He got cut that week.
Yeah,
that's why I cut the cards. Right. Like, he just got cut, and I was like, all right, snip.
Oh, that was the strip club incident, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Out.
I want to take a peek behind the curtain, because you were showing us before we hopped on, before we started recording, that you've got a box of National Treasure. I'm fascinated by the process behind what goes into you ripping packs on stream. Obviously, you're purchasing things, a lot of them at Dutch auction, a lot of them directly from Panini's website. Can you take the audience and us behind the scenes here? What happens from when you decide that you're going to buy a product to the point where you rip it and ship it? And are you sending stuff off to be graded? Is this going into a personal collection? Like, what happens from the point that you purchase this thing all the way through ripping it on stream?
So before even purchasing it, the first thing I want to decide is, do I want to own it? So like, most of the breaks that I've done have been for myself. I don't typically do box breaks because they're tough to sell out. And then I feel bad if they don't get something.
Yeah.
My community has wanted to take part in it. So we did some pack breaks where I'd sell each of the individual packs. And it's easier on stream because then you see the donations come in for the thing. One of my mods organizes it, and it keeps like a ledger of everything, and it's public and it's upfront. It's like, well, this person didn't pay. No, they paid. And everybody else knows they paid. And then we randomized the things. We started doing divisional ones because I'm not doing team breaks. I'm not right. I'm not sorting things into 32 and then mailing out 32 different things. So we started doing divisional breaks for this case of Mosaic that I got. And people like this. I only have to break it up 8 ways that way, 8 mailings, and you're done. Most of them are for me. Until I started doing these divisional breaks, I focus on more of the high-end stuff. I think that that's what people want to watch, right?
Yeah.
Some of it is out of people's reach, and they can live vicariously, and I can afford it, and I like doing the premium stuff for myself, and now it's just it's out there for people to see. The way that I've done it, now this is the real peek behind the curtain, right? So like I've figured out how to buy stuff at Dutch auction most of the time. typically speaking, you can find out what people are pre-selling these boxes for that are about to release like in 2 days. Like Immaculate comes out in a couple of days.
Yep.
That's going to Dutch auction on Thursday morning, I think. So you can find where people are going to pre-sell that. Where's their price point? And then eBay fees are like 15%. So lop that off and then figure they got to make a little bit of profit. That's where it's probably going to sell out. So you buy it just a little hair north of that. And then you've got yourself the wholesale price, right? You don't have to deal with retail. You don't have to buy it on secondary. You have your price. What I've been doing was I would buy a case of things. So NBA Select. I bought a case of NBA Select. I opened half the boxes. I then wait a month or two, and then I sell the rest on eBay for the inflated price. And basically my 6 boxes end up costing me $0.
Nice. Yep.
And you could be, this has always been like a controversial thing, because obviously you could have pulled the case hit out of those 6 boxes and then you're selling 6. So not only are you making your money back, maybe making more money, but you may have grabbed the goods out of the case already. Obviously, that's not always going to happen.
So like somebody else who bought my 6 boxes got a zebra.
Yeah. There you go.
I got 6 boxes. Who wants one? You can buy them in slates of 1, and one guy bought 1 and somebody else bought 5. So I guess a breaker picked up all 5 of the rest.
Yeah, probably.
See, you've talked about ripping Mosaic. I've seen you rip Prism, Select. You've got National Treasures, Immaculate, Flawless. Do you have a favorite product to this point?
I've never opened Immaculate, but based on how they look, I like the way those look the most. Like Flawless is fine. And it's like you get this big old briefcase. It's very dramatic, right? Like that's fine. National Treasures is essentially the same as Flawless, except what the Flawless are now game used. All the relics, somebody tweeted this at me today, so I want to get it right. All the relics, all the patches are game used patches.
That is correct.
Where in National Treasures, they're not game used patches.
Yeah, what's cool about Flawless is even for the rookies, the RPAs are also game used patches, which is very cool. And obviously
it's the same card stock and it's the same card everything. I like the ones that the shiny ones that Immaculate has, but I've never opened Immaculate, so I'm really looking forward to hopefully getting a case.
Yeah, well, especially you that does a lot of first off the line. Immaculate has like special acetate RPAs in first off the line, so those are particularly aesthetically pleasing for sure.
Yeah. Fingers crossed that I get a case of those and I can open them once.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we just missed out on the NBA Flawless, right? Are you upping your price on?
No. So I had a price set. That's like I couldn't find any that were for pre-sale, so I had to guesstimate what I thought the price might be. So that National Treasures case sold. I bought it at $5,000 a box, and I think they sold out like at $4,750 per box.
Yep.
So it's $20,000 for a case. So I said, okay, well, National Treasures, fine. It is what it is. It's 50% more for Flawless. So I said, all right, $7,500 is about the price. Maybe I'll buy a case if they go down to $7,500 a box. And it sold out at like $11,250 when the Dutch auction started at $12K. Didn't see that coming. I guess I'm not opening any Flawless this year for basketball. But I don't really like opening basketball anyway. Football seems like there's so many more bites at the apple.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's something else I wanted to ask you. If you only do football or if you much prefer football, obviously your background as from a public persona is, in football analysis, particularly for DFS perspective. So obviously the marriage is more natural there. But yeah, I agree. There's something about, especially with content creation, where football is more fun. The quarterback chase to me is, every single year is super exciting. More so than even a LaMelo Ball or Anthony Edwards. Like we know there's a couple superstars in hoops, but there's something about grabbing that big quarterback that could be like life-changing money if it's the right card. That is super exciting. Absolutely.
Of course. And you do work for Drew Dinkmeyer, so I don't even know if the puns are just ingrained in you now, but you said the quarterback chase. And those are really what you're looking for this year. You're looking for one of the quarterbacks, so you're looking for Chase.
Yep, that's it.
But like basketball, there's only like 2 guys and like LeBron.
Yeah.
So like 2 years ago, you had John Morant and Zion, and then this year you have LaMelo and you had Ant, and then this year's rookie class is, I think, a lot better. It's deeper, at least, right? Like maybe if you get a Cole Anthony or something from last year's rookie class, it's fine. But there's a lot of meh when it comes to NBA, and none of the other guys' veteran cards are worth anything. So football, at least you have Tom Brady. You also have basketball would be LeBron James, the equivalent card-wise, right? Like the veteran that you can get that's still value. Like Kevin Durant's not worth anything if you pull a 12th year Kevin Durant. Russ Westbrook, not worth anything if you pull one of his cards. So unfortunate. If you get their rookies, great, but I'm talking about opening stuff from product that's out right now.
Yeah.
You're not getting anything like that. Where if I get a second-year Burrow, a second-year Herbert, any of the other quarterbacks, Justin Jefferson's second year's worth, there's just so many more viable cards that can help you ladder up and get out of a box where you're really like, if you open a box of Flawless and you don't get an Anthony Edwards and you don't get a LaMelo Ball, you lost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you lost huge.
Yeah, it's like the only stuff that is worth money for those other guys, you know, for something like Flawless is like the tag autos, right? That's like out of 3 or out of whatever. So if you get a Kevin Durant tag autograph out of 2 or 3, yeah, of course you did okay, but the chance of hitting that is literally 1 in 3, right? So you're hoping to hit one of those big RPAs, or you are probably taking pretty serious negative EV on those boxes, especially the Flawless cases that are just the suitcases literally that are maybe 11K for this first off the line stuff.
That was from wholesale. They got to be 15K secondary. I haven't even seen any up yet.
They're going to be crazy. I was with you then. We're talking here on Tuesday afternoon. So this happened Tuesday morning, where should finally be the last NBA product from the 2021 class, which has been rolling out now that we're halfway through the 21-22
That's the
season.
other absurd part.
Yeah. A lot of that is COVID related and production issues. But yeah, I mean, now that they've built themselves this hole of release calendar hell basically for these card companies now, and it's kind of crazy in its own right. But yeah, so anyway, these went out for 11.25K or whatever at Dutch auction, which is just, I don't think anyone thought they would sell out even in the 5 figures, let alone only a little bit under release price. So yeah, really crazy. Glad to see that the market's staying strong for that class, but really crazy indeed.
I mean, LaMelo's the deal. I'm so big on LaMelo, and Anthony Edwards looks fantastic, and he does all the things that make people interested in a player.
Yes,
like he's very Dominique Wilkins-esque.
Yep.
Like he can, massive power dunks, show dunker, probably averages 25 plus per game for the next 8-10 years. Like those things translate well to card value.
Yeah, and he's still a baby. Like he still barely knows what he's even doing on the NBA floor. That's what's so scary about that. It's like it's all raw natural ability right now. So yeah, for me, if I'm looking for an upside play, he's still the guy I'm picking between there. As far as just safe floor that will be there for his career, especially with how much kids love him, LaMelo is the guy for sure.
Great.
For sure, absolutely.
It's amazing the amount of transcendent talents that we've had both in the NFL side and the NBA. And I wonder how much this will stick, but you mentioned Chase and Jefferson, like these transcendent skill position players. I wonder how much that'll continue to be a thing in the hobby, if that'll even grow more. But like we're seeing big prices on Jamar Chase stuff, the kabooms that were kind of the case hit from the absolute stuff. I wonder how much that will stick going forward too with skill position players.
So do you mean whether their prices are going to stick from the guys that came out last year and this year, or are you talking about like the 2022 draft class? Because that's not going to be a good.
Yeah, I think he's saying more generally as a trend, like will we see skill position players retain value moving forward here? Both.
I want, because like running backs, no, they don't. Right? Like in the card collecting business, running backs do not matter. They actually don't, and there's no argument to be made that they do. You can get a Barry Sanders rookie for like a cup of coffee right now.
Well, I think after this past fantasy season, they'll say in fantasy they don't matter either anymore, right?
That's possible.
Zero RB. Yeah, well, there you go. Zero RB all around though, is in cards and in fantasy. But yeah, no, yes, and running backs, it's going to be very hard to shake that. Other than the very, very, very rare exception, Adrian Peterson like type cards. The very.
What is an Adrian Peterson rookie worth right now?
It's a good question. I don't know that.
I don't know off the top of my head, but I'm like, that's what I was thinking earlier. Like even if Jonathan Taylor has this fantastic Hall of Fame career, what is his card going to be? Same with Harris. What is his card going to be worth? This great running back rookie class that was last year. Like they're all fantastic, but like also maybe like the 1 of 1s or the 1 of 5s or the 1 of 10s might hold some value just because exactly how many are out there in the population, right?
Yeah, you know what? You're right. Even the Peterson Refractor Topps Chrome PSA 10, only like a $450 card right now, and that's
is it stamped though? They didn't have stamped cards back when he was a rookie though.
Yeah, no. But
if you had like a 1 of 10 Adrian Peterson rookie, that might have more value.
As far as being numbered, there were some, like there were some gold ones that were at a 50 back then for Topps. Actually, Topps still gold at a 50. So yeah, that one, I guess there's a Bowman Chrome because they used to have Bowman for football too. Gold PSA 10, that's on Card Ladder for around $1,000 of a pop of only 5. But you would think, for 5, there would be more. You are seeing Jonathan Taylor. I was actually watching some auctions today. I think I saw a blue Prism, Taylor go for like 300 or something out in a PSA 10. So that's basically the same price as Adrian Peterson. That's just recency bias.
Yeah.
But yeah, if that's going to be your pinnacle of running back, market, it's not going to ever really be there. So yeah, nope, it's true. It's absolutely true. Do you collect with your kids? Are your kids into it at all?
They've started. So my older son, who just turned 12, it's his birthday today. So
happy
he just
birthday
turned 12 today. He is starting to get more into sports.
Yeah.
He plays baseball. He's a runner. He was like all league as a cross country runner as a 6th grader for 6th, 7th, 8th grade. So like he's really fast.
Oh, nice.
But like he watches more basketball, watches more football with me this year, particularly than ever before, but not into the cards. So like I'll break these packs on stream, the ones that are for me. And I'm like, these are yours. Like we'll take the ones that are like super duper special. We'll send those into PSA. Right. But all the other fodder, like that's all yours. All the commons, here's the base rookies. You can have all those. Here's all the other stuff. And my younger son, he's got folders on folders of all the cards, knows all the players' names. He knows who he has. He's got them organized and everything. David's like, can I just get like some Pokemon?
Just nothing wrong with
totally
that either.
Fine, right? Totally fine.
He's in on Pokemon, Beyblades, all that stuff. Not into the sports cards, but my younger son
Well, hey, man, the Pokemon stuff has a lot of value too. So that's exciting. Yeah, but that's definitely a blind spot of our show though, for sure. There's a lot of collectibles podcasts that talk Pokemon, but that is not us. But yeah, it's fun. It's cool that the younger one is into it. And man, that was me growing up with the folders and the binders, and it sounds like you as well. And it's great. I'm glad to hear because Cody and I have also spoken about this too. It's awesome to see this hobby and everything blow up and the industry be really strong, and obviously all the stuff happening with Fanatics and Tops. But none of it matters if we're not keeping the kids involved too. And with the price points of a lot of this stuff, that's been a big concern of mine. So happy to hear that your younger son's into it. Hopefully, we'll keep getting more kids into the hobby for sure.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, kids like whatever they like, right? So like my younger son, he doesn't care if it's worth a whole lot of money. And that's the best part. Cause like you said, it's just pure. He's like, I like this card. This card looks really cool. Dalvin Cook is like one of his favorite players. He came into my office every Sunday morning. Dad, I know you're working right now before kickoff, but like if Dalvin Cook is playing, you should probably take Dalvin Cook because I have his card. He's really, really good.
It's not bad advice.
No, it's good advice more often than it's not.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, I'll get some more Dalvin Cook in the lineup.
That's good. Yeah. Yeah. He was in my Millie lineup, so I'll always love
There you
Dalvin
go.
Cook.
See, you'll allow it.
Yeah, absolutely.
What is it with Vikings and being in Millie Maker winners?
Yeah,
they got American hero Stephon Diggs.
Defense sucks. Those are the two. Those are really the two. They get a lot of volume. They score a lot of touchdowns. Defense can't stop other teams from scoring touchdowns. Great recipe.
It's a recipe for success.
Yeah,
sure.
Gary, you mentioned Pokemon and Beyblades being a blind spot of ours, but I think we've gone long enough with having an NFT thought leader on the show.
Where's Overset? Is he coming here?
Without discussing NFTs, because we've been accused of being stone boomers. We're both 29 still, I think, right? We haven't even hit 30 yet.
I'm a little under 2 months away from 30 now.
Cody. All right, so I'm about to be 49 in May.
Officially millennials, and we're accused of being stone boomers. We've got almost 49-year-old Al Zeidenfeld on the stream, and he could teach us a thing or two about NFTs. So we want to get some NFT discussion from Al. I don't know where you want to take this, but maybe just your experience, maybe where you see the NFT space going, where it's been. But I think more so our audience could just learn from what your experience has been like in the last couple of months that you've been dabbling in NFTs.
It's been a wild ride, I'll say that for sure. So like, I guess I kind of started in April with the horse racing game, Zed Run.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That was kind of my entry point into NFTs. I was very publicly not into Top Shot, where like, I think that was the majority of daily fantasy Twitter's entry point into that digital collectible market, right? And I wasn't really into it. I had my own issues with the company. That was a whole other problem. But I got in with Zed Run. And there's a correlation between a lot of the projects that I've gotten into, and it's games. Yeah. I like games. I've been good at games my entire life. I spent 10 years as a basketball coach at the high school and college level. I played professional poker for another 7, 8, 9 years. And obviously my history in daily fantasy. And so finding these projects that were centered around some sort of gameplay, whether it was video gameplay, whether it was a game theory play, whatever it was always around this deeper game. So like Zed Run, it's like, yeah, you race your horse, but also it was a breeding game. And there was a lot to build in with your bloodlines and which horses you held and which ones you kept and which ones you sold. And that interests me a lot, those deep rabbit hole games. So all of my entry points, once I started getting into the larger world of NFTs on the Ethereum blockchain type stuff that's on OpenSea. And Jeff El Jefe was somebody that I talked to at the beginning, and Adam Levy, known as Ruthless from the poker world, also plays daily fantasy a lot. I remember sending Adam a message, a DM. I said, Adam, I'm probably the youngest 48-year-old in the world, but I have never felt old before, and I feel completely old when it comes to NFTs. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't understand the verbiage. I don't know what's going on, and I can't wrap my head around it. And he said, okay, buy this, buy this, buy this. Here's a couple things that you might like. They're kind of game-oriented things. One was Pixel Vault. He said, buy this Mint Pass. It was like one and a half Ethereum. So I bought like 2 of those, and he said, buy this thing and buy this thing, and then join this community, and you'll learn more about it, and you'll find things that you like, and you're gonna make mistakes, right? You're gonna buy things that go to zero. It's just, that's what's gonna happen. I have my entire portfolio. I've got a bunch of losers in that portfolio, but your winners are gonna massively outpace your losers in terms of, if you lose 1 unit on a loss and you do that 8 times, you buy 10 different projects, 8 of them are losers, you lose 1 unit each, but your wins, you win 10, 20, or 50 units, you're good.
Yeah.
But like, you don't even have to have this massive win rate, but like, you buy and collect the things that you like, and I centered around games. Things like Goons of Balatron, which kind of went nowhere. Maybe it rebounds, it's still a thing. I'm not, anybody who owns Goons of Balatron, I'm not saying it's terrible. Take it easy, don't get all heated in the replies. But like, you know, Galaxy Fight Club, which was like 0.1 for the longest time. I bought like 3 or 4 of those. And now they're like 1 Ethereum floor. Goons of Balatron was the one that I said before. Vox Collectibles, I minted like 5 of those for 0.08. And now I sold off most of those, but they went through the roof because like they became this game that now has tokenization, breeds a coin. I'm way into like the Meta Hero universe that has this game theory and stuff behind it. And Wolf Game more recently, which was something that had this game theory and yields a coin and does all these different things, and having it gives you access to these other things. And I just like talking about them and having the game theory that I have to think my way through. So in my own Discord, we have the Smiz Gang HQ, where it's an NFT centralized Discord where mostly beginners, but a lot of people who have some experience in it for the last year, spend a lot of our time just talking about all these different projects and figuring out what we should jump into and maybe what we should stay away from, without giving any sort of financial advice, just giving our opinion and what we've learned about each one. And having, 50 people talking about NFTs is easier than just feeling isolated, because NFTs and daily fantasy are both very isolating projects. When you have a community around you, it makes it a lot easier. Even just like a friend group, you don't even need like a whole community. Just have some people to talk about it with. Just makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, that's fascinating. That's awesome, man. And like, it sounds like we could both use kind of what you did at the beginning of this. Just say, hey, explain this to me like I'm 5. Where should I start? Where should I start jumping in? And just kind of finding that right person. And that was a great breakdown of your experience in it so far. Do you see, is this sustainable for you? Do you think that this NFT space is a here to stay? And your involvement in it, is it something that is going to be, you imagine being a big part of your life now for the future?
So I think that there's real world application for NFTs, and that's why I think that it's going to be something that's here for a long, long time. So like the way that I explain this to most people who are, let's say, normies, right? Like, adults who invest, I don't get it, right? I'm like, okay, well, think about it this way. You've seen StubHub, right? Like, yeah, we know what StubHub is. They sell tickets. Yeah, there's a secondary market. But like, imagine if the teams who want a cut of that secondary market could slap a 7 to 10% royalty on any secondary market sales. So like, are you telling me that concert tickets and sporting tickets, and instead of, the private seat license, the PSLs that the teams did to create more money for them on every subsequent sale of the tickets, you could easily make any of those things into an NFT, and then all of a sudden the creator of the NFT has that royalty that they will make money on any secondary market. Go ahead, sell them on the secondary market, we still get our cut, right? They get to skim the secondary market, which is essentially a benefit of the NFT world. So like, I think that there's actual real world marketable activity that can happen, and not just like, here's a funny picture that's, you know, one of 10,000 and you can use it. Well, what do I do with it? Well, you make it your social media profile. Like, there's more things that can be done. And we've seen it in terms of these DAOs, these decentralized autonomous organizations that have tried to buy a English soccer team, a lower level English soccer team. There's one, I'm not trying to like shout out things like pump my bags.
No, you're
right. No,
without saying the name, like there's one that's like trying to buy a country club. So you bought the thing. There's another one that I think Gary Vee had where it's a sushi restaurant in New York. And if you own it, you own shares of the restaurant, you come and eat whenever you want. Like,
I got to
the
learn more
country
about that
club
one.
aspect of these things, I think, is very real. And those are all real world applications outside of here's my social media avatar.
That's fascinating. Yeah, I didn't realize that it's already at that point with a lot of these, and that's really, really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I got to learn about the sushi one because I love sushi and I live in New York City. So
that one was expensive. Yeah, it's in New York, so I didn't buy it. But like, it minted for like 4 Ethereum, and you could own like part of a sushi restaurant.
Yeah, that's wild.
Very expensive sushi.
Yeah, that is expensive. Oh man,
hearing about some of the real world utility is nice and refreshing, and like it legitimately comes across like you have an investment thesis. The Wolf game, the Goons, the Zed Run, all kind of play to earn, gamifying your NFTs, the real world utility, the DAOs, all that kind of stuff makes a little bit more sense than, like you said, just throwing up your profile picture and all of a sudden it's worth 100 ETH. So it is nice to hear.
Now, saying that, I do want my Bored Ape to be 100 ETH. That's the bet.
Right.
Do Bored Apes hit 100 Ethereum before the Super Bowl kicks off? That's the question.
So what is
right now? They're at like 82, 83 Ethereum, and there's a rumor. There's a rumor. This is just rumor. This is not alpha for me. This is not anything else. But like, Eminem just got an ape from MoonPay, right? Like MoonPay is trying to pump their business up, so they're buying apes for all these different celebrities. I think they got Jimmy Fallon his. They got Eminem one. Snoop Dogg has one. Kendrick Lamar has one. Those 3 guys are playing at halftime. The other 2 artists that are there at halftime don't have a Bored Ape, but 2 Grail apes were apparently just bought by MoonPay. Is the halftime show going to be sponsored by or show these Bored Apes at halftime? Or are they going to buy a Super Bowl commercial right at halftime?
Or part of the show somehow, like
because you own the rights to your ape. That's the thing. Like for licensing purposes,
right? You
can use it for whatever. So a company like Arizona bought a Bored Ape to use on their packaging. That's their ape, and they can use it however they want commercially. So if these 5 artists want to use them commercially at the halftime show, what happens if this rumor becomes a thing, or if it's actually a thing? What happens to that project?
Wow, I love this. This is great. I didn't know anything about this. This is awesome.
The second part of this thesis is that the some 100 million Americans watching the Super Bowl will then be smart enough to hop onto OpenSea and sweep up the floor on the Bored Apes.
It's that the 100 million Americans will say, "What is that?"
Yes,
right. Think about how viral Left Shark went.
Oh yeah.
So if everybody's Googling this thing, and everybody says, well, okay, and they start digging deeper. If 1% of the people of that 100 million dig deeper, there's only 10,000 of these things that exist.
Right. So I can't wait to see the Google trends after the Super Bowl on.
If that's the thing, it would be like through the roof. Yeah, it would be 100.
Man, I love Super Bowl. A good conspiracy theory. So this is exciting. Yeah. I want to see this come to fruition.
This is
great.
Ship
it to Wiggins. That's the one you got to tell Wiggins. He's our resident conspiracy theorist that we love.
Yeah.
So for this to work out perfectly, we need Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady rematch to get max viewership. Like we can't have Jimmy Garoppolo and Ryan Tannehill in the Super Bowl, right? I mean, we need the studs there, right? That would be like
Patrick the Pistons Mahomes against the Spurs in the NBA Finals. Can we not even talk about that?
All right, we'll ignore that. We'll ignore that.
Don't do that. It's like the Giants against the Ravens. Don't do that to me.
Well, don't do that to Gary because Gary's a Giants fan. So
I was 8 during that Super Bowl, but I remember it. I don't want to 34-7 or whatever that.
We
that
want
one was.
Points. We want like a 55 total in the Super Bowl.
We need to get some Smiz hot takes because we can't let you get out of here without some NFL playoff hot takes.
There's never hot takes from me.
I know.
Only from this account.
We're gonna ring them out of you, but I know that I watched the First Look show today. I know you've got some divisional round thoughts already. the people want them. We'll center the discussion around the sports card market. Do you have any thoughts on what's going to happen this weekend? Who's going to make it to the Super Bowl? Any look ahead for our listeners?
The Bills just look really good, don't they?
Oh my God, they're
yeah. Oh.
And like, I know they got to go on the road to Kansas City, but Kansas City's flawed defensively, and Buffalo does not seem flawed offensively, and they're certainly not flawed defense. I mean, they give up a little bit on the ground, right? If you're a power running team, which the Kansas City Chiefs are not a power running team. So do you think, like, Kansas City's favored in this game? Do you think Mahomes wins this one, or do you think Josh Allen walks away? Because I kind of think Buffalo wins, which probably means they lose.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards you. I was starting to do some of the gauntlet returns best ball drafts earlier today, and I think we're all these people in this community or whatever, the people that are grinding those. Josh Allen's going like 1, 2, or 3 in a lot of these drafts right now, and I mean, was that not one of the best overall offensive performances you've ever seen in that weather? A near perfect turn in. I mean, that was just incredible football there. And if they're hitting their stride now, I would have a hard time thinking that they don't have a good chance coming out of Kansas City in this one. But I just think it's going to be a freaking awesome game. But I do give Buffalo the upper hand a little bit here. I'm with you.
So like last year, I remember tweeting this out. It was when 4 teams were left. It was in the championship round. I said all 4 teams are in the top 10 in offensive DVOA. All 4. Only one was in the top 10 in defensive DVOA also, and it was the Buccaneers. And nobody gave them a chance in Green Bay, and they won there, and then they won the Super Bowl going away. Like, defense matters when it comes to the playoffs. Every team is very talented offensively, but like the teams that can do it on both sides of the ball, that good defense can have that day against a great offense. And the other team can't stop the other great offense. So like, that's why you get these teams that run away. I think the Bills are one of those type of teams. I think the Rams and the Buccaneers are 2 other ones. Luckily for the league, they play each other. So like, they're not going to face each other in the NFC Championship. But like I think those 3 teams would be my 3 favorites to make the Super Bowl. Buffalo, and then whoever wins that Tampa Bay game. Whoever wins the KC Buffalo game, and then whoever wins the Rams Buccaneers game.
I think for the Bills, you can't overstate the emergence of Gabe Davis and Isaiah McKenzie. It seems small and probably super in the weeds for us DFS guys and everyone grinding out these best ball tournaments. But like Isaiah McKenzie kind of being a thing and being fast and replacing some of those snaps from Cole Beasley and Gabe Davis getting on the field. I mean, they go real deep at the skill position group. And this is a legacy defining as early as it is in his career. I mean, Josh Allen could really establish himself as the league's premier quarterback and the hobby's premier quarterback. We're starting to see some movement in his card market already, up 10% just in his base market. And we know how base markets have been down of late, but his base PSA 10's up 10% over the last couple of weeks. If he goes out and beats Mahomes, takes care of business in the AFC Championship game, and then gets one of those big time NFC quarterbacks with Rodgers or even Stafford and Brady, obviously, you can see some massive returns for someone like Josh Allen. So if you're betting on him in best ball like we all are, might not hurt to bet on the card market as well.
That's not a bad play. Just get a few shares of that in your portfolio.
Yeah.
It truly can't be understated what it would do for if he wins a Super Bowl here, especially this early on in his career, after the emergence of him from the last couple of seasons. It can't be understated what his card market looks like for the rest of his career at that point. There is a floor there that presents itself at that point, as far as it wouldn't dip under certain points, even in his down moments in the coming years. Once he has that ring on his finger, with the clear gold jacket trajectory and just the overall, passing the eye test, the skill set that is through the roof, with no reason to think that he wouldn't be able to win at least one more. It would become one of the pinnacle cards in sports. The Prism, especially that 2018 Prism with the silvers, particularly, which were way less produced for football in 2018 than we've seen now since then. Those Josh Allen rookies would really develop quite the market at that point.
I do have one Josh Allen take, but is it reflective or is it predictive is the question. It revolves around, why are we stupid that as daily fantasy players? Josh Allen is going to put up a 30-point DraftKings day how many times a year? Just guess. Give me an over-under from both of you, Cody and Gary. Give me an over-under. How many times the last 2 years is he going to put up a 30-point game each year? Like 6.5, you'd say?
Yeah. That's probably fair. 30% of the time, 40%.
Like he was the QB1 5 times this year on a week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So do you think that's going to stop in 2022?
Absolutely not.
No.
Okay, why are we not just playing 150 Josh Allen double stacks a week in the million?
Yeah.
Why are we overthinking this? What's
guaranteed
wrong with
to win
us?
at least one? Guaranteed to win at least one.
At least one. You're going to challenge for 6.
Right.
That's a great point, first of all. And the other great thing that Josh Allen has is, he has a floor where a lot of those other players, the quarterbacks that are going to put up those 30-point performances, don't with his legs. He really, really does. So, it's not.
Why are we dumb? Why didn't we just do this? Why are we all going to get 10% of this guy? I'm going to have 15%. I want to have a portfolio. That's my flag plan every week in 2022. What's your flag plan? 150 Josh Allen lineups. That's or double stack every one of them and find a bring back.
As many times as they boat race teams this year too, and he still got there when they're up 25 in the third quarter, and he still gets. I mean, he's going to be the one that gets them there anyway. But yeah, he is an absolute smash.
Yeah,
and he plays the Jets twice.
That's a good that he does. That he does. Man. Yeah, you know what? You're onto something there. I am famously like really stringent about my player pool as is. So like I try to keep my quarterback pool to like 4 to 6 guys every week anyway. But now maybe it's just one every
Josh
week.
Allen 150 times Josh Allen done.
All right. I know my strategy for next year. We're ready to go.
I think that is a great place to leave the show. I think we covered it all. Anything else from you, Gary?
No, I want to thank Smiz for coming on, man. We obviously are big fans of yours, but love that you're involved in both our traditional cardboard space and the NFT space. So we appreciate you coming on and kind of giving us some schooling on the NFTs and why we need to get involved there, and obviously just shooting the shit for us for the last 45 minutes here. Really do appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. It's fun. I just look, man. Do things that you like doing and talk about them with people that are cool to talk about them with. You're always gonna have a good time.
Agreed.
Yeah, this was a ton of fun, Al. Really appreciate you coming on. Tell the people where they can find you for any of our listeners that aren't already watching your Twitch streams.
I'm live on Twitch mostly in the off season, like 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. I've got 5 YouTube channels now. You can find the easiest way to find everything is just go to smizzle.tv/links and you'll see the link tree for all of those different things. That's the easiest way I can tell you to find everywhere that I'm at.
This was a ton of fun. For Gary, for Al, I'm Cody. We'll see you next week.
Take care, everyone.